Hello everyone, welcome back to the Plague of Shadows Any Percent tutorial series.
So now we will go into the Lich Yard. The stage is considerably harder already than Brightmore in my opinion. There's also a bunch of randomness going on here. So this frog for instance is random and all the other frogs are random too. If that first frog there jumps towards you randomly, just try to damage boost through him. The boss at the end of the stage is also random, so this is kind of a big reset point in runs if you actually try to get an optimized time. These dark rooms here can be a bit scary, but just look at my input display and like re-watch the room a bunch of times or memorize the layout. It's really not too hard once you get used to the layout. Now up here, stalling in the air is important to manipulate the AI of that skeleton. And now upcoming after this room here is the frog room right there. You have to carry over the totem from the right to the left here, and the frogs just mess with you. So once again they are random, and you cannot believe how many runs I've lost just to this room. There's so much randomness going on here, but I got through that pretty easily. There's some health here if you need that. Getting this fall here can be a bit tight. And now the upcoming room here is the big dark room. I definitely advise you to learn the specific way to get through the dark room, because it's fast and it's not really that hard, but if it is intimidating to you at first, just rewatch a bunch of times. And now you have to enter Specter Knight with a burst like I did right there to end up on the higher platform here. We'll explain that again later. And now this boss fight is really weird. He will bounce basically every time you hit him with anything, except if he is about to do an attack. So getting this boss fight down can be really finicky. If you hit him at wrong times, he will just randomly bounce in different directions. And it can be a bit hard to lock him down. Also the second teleport he did there is random. So I got the good RNG there where he teleports towards you. There's also the bad way he teleports away from you. We'll cover both later.
By now everyone should be really comfortable with how they burst and jump through every stage. So you're going to start to build your own style, and that's kind of important because at this point we're just going to be picking up on where you should be landing. As Plague Knight you often have to adjust to what's happening, so do note that however you feel to approach this point is up to you, but OddBod likes to stop at this ledge. This gives him a little bit of time to recognize what the frog is doing and make adjustments. The frog jumping backwards is actually very rare. It usually jumps forward, so be expecting to damage boost off of it. And ideally you'd like to be able to clear this entire gap in one burst jump burst combo. With some bomb throwing you can retain a little bit of your momentum, break open the dirt blocks and get out. Now you want to use a bomb throw, a single bomb throw, to clear out these dirt blocks below you, and then charge a burst and burst jump so that you can use a little bit of that momentum to fly out of the room. And make your way across the checkpoint room, the room with the big skeleton. It is possible to clear the whole thing, just make sure that you have your double jump restored at some point so that you can make it without having to touch the ground. Now for this room with frogs, you want to burst, jump, and then burst to the right. This can be a little tricky if you bonk it to the ceiling too much, so just make sure that you clear it, do a neutral jump so that you don't start flying to the left. And if you're just barely not making it over this ledge somehow, if your burst timing wasn't as optimal, then a couple of bomb throws will help you get over. This next room is the first dark room, and it's not terribly difficult to navigate. However, dark rooms do require that you practice them enough to understand what they look like, whether or not you can see what's going on. It's more important to know where enemies are and when your burst will be recharged so that you can use it to push the ghost away, make sure you don't accidentally land on something, wake up a frog. This next room has a checkpoint you should be able to touch without losing any time. And once you land in the pit, that dinner plate is a fake. It has a bomb in it, so don't worry about it. If you really do want some health in the cracked wall where the skeletons are, you can go break that wall open for a turkey. Nothing really crazy going on in this room, just make sure you jump before you do your burst combo so that you can get over the ledge. The next screen does have a slight manipulation. You want to try and linger, as OddBod said, up against this wall with some bomb tosses. This wastes a little bit of time, which means that the skeleton will run his head up against the wall long enough that it'll trick him into starting to back up instead. So this way you avoid doing a damage boost, something that you'd much rather save for this next section. Position yourself so that a burst will land you on the frog, turn around at the last second, damage boost to the right. And with the invincibility frames, you're free to burst through this section without worrying about dying. Now, one of the things that can help you out in the next room is getting a burst before you transition so that you're very high up on the ladder. And there's a couple different ways of doing this room. You can do what OddBod did, which was a burst, bomb throw, jump, and then burst to leave. However, if you're struggling with making it over the ledge, then you can do something similar to what I did in my hundo runs. Once you reach the top of the ladder, you'll jump and then do a burst to the left, double jump, and then burst to the right, which should get you over this ledge without any issues. Now, this room is one of the more annoying rooms. It's very subject to RNG. These frogs, you're actually relying on them to stay out of your way as much as possible. Once you land on the platform, jump so that you immediately get the platform to start rising, and use a burst to get the Boom Clang helm moving. From here, you just want to be doing short bomb tosses, jump toss bomb, just to keep it moving to the left. Keep an eye on the frog, and at some point you'll either want to use a burst to make sure that you hit him, or if you feel like you can hit him in the darkness, then use some bomb tosses. Either way, if you can possibly avoid him, it's worth it. Otherwise, take a damage boost so that you can continue to weigh down the platform without getting interrupted by the frog again. Be very careful as you're trying to get underneath this platform. If you allow the platform to rise, you can get crushed between the platform and the ceiling. And while you're doing all of that, you need to keep an eye on this frog just to know where he is. And if you can take him out really quickly, or if he's out of your way entirely, that'd be great, but sometimes he can be a jerk too. There's a pretty easy food pickup right here. If you just drop down to the dinner plate and burst on top of it, you can crack it open and take the turkey. If you feel like your health is fine, then you can just burst to the right and get out of the room. Now for this room, OddBod likes to do a brief landing so you can recharge his double jump. Burst, jump, burst. This should land you on a platform with another Bone Clang helm. You shouldn't need to worry about it, just make sure you keep heading to the right, and you're going to use this Bone Clang to help you weigh the platform down. If you land on the platform early enough, then you should be able to just walk underneath it before you rub your nose up against the ledge there. This next trick is actually one of my favorites because if you jumped into the transition and you do a burst that is just barely going to not bonk on that ceiling right there, and you do need to move quickly. With this burst, you want to land on the lip of this platform, but let yourself slide off and turn to the left. This will prevent you from sliding into the ghost and will immediately cancel your forward momentum. In this next room, nothing crazy, just burst, jump, get over the giant skeleton. However, we're fast approaching the last room, and you can jump to the left to touch that checkpoint and activate it before you head into this room. But do make sure that you are bursting into the transition. This way you can get a double burst before you jump and then burst again. Now OddBod likes to land on this platform briefly, get his double jump back, do a big jump, and then burst, jump, burst again onto this moving platform in the darkness. And then from here, once you land, you're going to burst and jump again. But this should land you basically on a platform you can't see right in front of the ghost. It's a little hard to tell, but you can tell where its base is using the silhouette in the background. And then as you're approaching the last checkpoint room, there's food to your left, but as you're trying to do this room optimally, you want to land basically where the checkpoint is. OddBod made a slight adjustment. He thought I was going to go past it. And it's very important that you burst, jump, and then your burst has to be basically in the screen transition, right before it. This will make it so that as you come into the boss's room, you land up on this platform, and that's crucial to setting up this fight. So in this footage, you're going to see what happens when you get good RNG. The beginning of the fight's going to be the same, but later on we'll cover briefly what it looks like when you get bad RNG. So when the fight begins, you're going to wait for Specter to come up to you. This makes it so that when you burst him to the right, he'll have moved enough to the left that he's not going to try and escape the corner. You can burst him twice to the right side, and he'll stay there. Specter's first teleport is always to the opposite side of the screen, so you can just wait for him to come back. When Specter does come back, you want to burst up into the air. You only want to do a single jump and burst so that you have your double jump for later. Time it so that you burst so that you can throw 3 bombs at him without him moving. So too early and you won't hit him with all 3 bombs. Too late and the bombs will cause him to move. Because once Specter has finished reappearing, any bomb hits will force him to move. So 1 bomb to get him out of the corner, then 1 bomb to the left to push him to the left side. Start charging a burst. You're going to burst over to the left side. He's going to try to escape, so then jump and do another burst in his face to keep him on the left side. For the rest of the fight, you're going to be mashing your bombs. If you get good RNG, then you'll have tossed 3 bombs on him before he disappeared, and then 6 more bombs on him to finish the fight in this corner. So again, here's the whole fight with good RNG. Remember, you're trying to burst as you touch the transition so that you land up on this top platform. That's really, really crucial because trying to fight him any other way would really take forever. So once he starts approaching, you burst at him, burst again to keep him in the right corner, throw your bombs, wait for him to come back, burst, 3 bomb tosses, 2 more to get him to the left side, burst at him to keep him in the left corner, and then with good RNG you can just keep tossing bombs on him until he dies.
So now here's a Specter 5 with bad RNG. Once again, it's important that you burst into the room here. I'll also do a different beginning strat here that is slightly faster but also harder. So I advise you to do the different one if you're a beginner. But right there I did a different like burst pattern to get him to the corner. Double jump towards him here is important to get him out of that corner there. And now here is the bad RNG. He teleports down right instead of down left. So what you do is you throw 3 bombs here, double jump cancel, and then left, right, left. 3 bombs again and it will kill him. It's a bit hard to get down, but ideally you will just get the good RNG, and if you miss that kill, afterwards you will do a Judgment Rush attack, which you also can hit him easily on.
So what OddBod was saying about the beginning being different is that you move forward, and this will cause Specter to try and escape the right corner. So all you have to do to keep him in the corner is double jump, which is a neutral double jump so you don't end up flying, which will keep him pinned to the right when you burst again. And then for the majority of the middle of the fight, it'll be exactly the same. You just want to try and get Specter over to the left side. But then he gives you bad RNG and then teleports to the bottom right corner. So when this happens, you wait for Specter to come back, you do a burst into the air. As he reappears, you're going to throw 3 bombs on him before he fully reappears so that your bomb hits don't actually move him. And then once you've done those 3 bomb tosses, you have to do 1 bomb to the left, turn around, 1 bomb to the right, and then 1 more bomb to the left. And just so you can see it once more, you can also get the better intro where you jump at him to start the fight. And then the fight proceeds to play out just about the same. Try to get these bomb tosses in again before he finishes fully reappearing. And then you get this bad RNG, so you're going to prepare yourself for the backup strat, which is 3 more bomb tosses and then left, right, left. So now that we've completed the first world, as it were, you get this small cutscene where you sneak up on Mona while she's dancing. This time you're going to want to do a lot more mashing because you're going to get a health tonic from her and you can actually skip the animation of slowly drinking it before you burst out. But yeah, that wraps up World 1. Next time we'll be taking our first steps into World 2. We're going to be looking at the Explodatorium so that we can take out some of the most frustrating RNG. Thank you for watching. Till next time, take care.